One of the aspects that I think is really key for organisations to understand when finding the right talent, and what's probably at the nub of why some organisations find it difficult to fill key positions, because I think today's job market is far beyond the role that is advertised. Employer brand, I think has always been important. It's probably even more important. What does the employer brand stand for? Are the values really being lived, or are they a poster on the wall? How does that translate into what I'm going to be doing in a day-to-day environment, in my job, etc.? And how to portray that. As I say, many organizations have values or their CSR initiatives on the wall, and I guess talent today often are quite probing about that, and they want to see and hear the evidence, and they want to talk to people about that. And so are we going about that in the right way? Are we really hooking the people we're trying to attract in the way that's effective? I believe hidden talent to me is about the potential that sits within the organization already that we don't even know about. How many people on your team may have skills, knowledge, passions, interests outside the scope of their current remit that you maybe don't even know about, or you've only scratched the surface? So giving people an opportunity to shine, to maybe get involved in projects, to move beyond their current remit, I guess does two things. It motivates and engages people to do new things, and on an organizational perspective, it really helps you uncover areas of interest, passion, motivation that you don't even know that were there. You may have skills in the organization you don't even know you're there. And sometimes, of course, there's a bit of tension with the line manager. If you've got a great project and you're looking around maybe in your peers' departments, have you got anybody who might be interested in getting involved? Often the first reaction is, well, no, we're really, really busy. It'd be great, yes, but not now. I'd encourage peers to work together and do as much as possible of that. And afterwards, actually reflect back, well, what have we learned about this person? How else can we develop them, stretch them, if that's what they want, to tap into that talent, which frankly, if you can unearth it within the organization, maybe initially as an aside through a project, etc., means you're better equipped knowing where you can go, where you can find people when the right job comes up for that. And also, you've got a more engaged workforce, so it's got to be a win-win. Another way to identify hidden talent is to use either the intranet or a form of LinkedIn, electronic credentials, for example, for people to actually showcase their work, showcase their skills, their competencies. One of our sister organizations, Digital Me, were actively promoting working with organizations for just that, to create digital credentials to display either on LinkedIn or other social media or intranet sites that showcase not just the skill that somebody's good at or the competence, but actually by clicking in, showcase some work. And that's another great way of identifying and sharing across the whole organization the kind of skills, the untapped potential, the sort of competencies and the knowledge that you've already got to fill future vacancies. Often we see millennials wanting to change more frequently, wanting to have more exposure to different parts of the organization and to really understand the why. And so those organizations, I guess, that aren't yet able to respond to those varied needs sometimes struggle. And the pace is increasing in terms of job turnover. Therefore, the length in one job is less. It sometimes means that the time to develop to the full level of the job or within the job that could be achieved doesn't necessarily get there. And so I guess there's an element of balancing the need for somebody to be in a single role for 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, or even beyond that, with how can I provide opportunities, projects, assignments, stretch assignments for people to do other stuff and grow in other ways, when in fact actually we can use those kind of projects to develop skills that they need anyway, but I guess it feels more varied overall. Starting right at the beginning of the process in recruitment, for example, technology can certainly be a help. We work with partners, for example, to use technology to pre-identify specific competencies and potential within candidates. And I guess it gives us scope to do a lot of pre-sifting before we go further. That comes with its own challenges, I guess. If you're using any form of technology, it needs to be set up correctly. You need to be very clear on the criteria. Otherwise, you might be sifting out very, very good people that just happen not to fit the criteria that you put. Social media can be a help, can be a hindrance. Obviously, you can reach maybe a larger group of people faster, absolutely. But there's also websites like Glassdoor and sometimes even LinkedIn, I guess, from which candidates form an opinion about your organization, and where I suppose pre-social media you may have had control of your website and your general communication strategy, shaping to a certain extent the brand that you have as an employer in the market. But today anybody and everybody can publish an opinion on what's going on in your organization, rightly or wrongly, and that creates a perception. In terms of development, technology can again be a great catalyst and help, whether it's on the development side through e-learning, assessment, promotion of vacancies, promotion of opportunities, promotion of career pathways, and harnessing all of that through a strong people information management system can be of great value. So being clear on where we want to use technology, how to respond over the technology we have no control over, has become a major factor in everything to do with talent strategy. And being clear and having a plan and executing it, it has to be absolutely clear. Over the next decade, clearly talent strategies are going to continue to evolve, and it's hard to predict exactly how. I guess there's a few things that I'm sure about. We will continue to need people in our organizations. I'm also probably pretty clear on the fact that in 10 years' time we'll have jobs, roles, vocations, areas of specialism that we can't even imagine today. And preparing for those and identifying the kind of skills that are absolutely essential underlying that. So developing learning agility, developing the ability to create relationships with peers, with my manager, with my team, building that trust and confidence, and communication skills, whether it's communicating verbally, through technology, in writing. Those are skills I can't imagine going away. How we apply them, I think that's the bit that's going to change. And I think the landscape's going to change also of what are the expectations. Today's younger generations have a set of expectations, and I expect that over the next 10 years, as these generations move up in organizations and move through organizations, we'll see more portfolio careers. We'll see more people doing maybe more than one role, multiple jobs or multiple employers, more freelance working, probably more flexible and also more remote working, putting together the work-life balance, if you like. There may be other things that we can't expect to know, can't even begin to guess, that will begin to change as the next generation comes in. But being aware that it's happening and maybe being a bit less surprised than we have been in the past 5 years, just being prepared for that speed of that change, that's probably a given.